What is up, guys and gals? It's me, Thomas Fan01 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10, figures of 2023 that have hoved their way into my collection in the recent days and months over the course of this year. So, how this is going to work is we're going to go off of the parameter of two rules, and the two rules are that they come from the first one. They can come from any line. That line and those two lines that I specifically collect would be Legacy and the Studio Series. So those are the two lines that we're going to be focusing on today. I don't really focus on Cyberverse or Earthspark or I don't really pay attention to that stuff. I mean, if I had my mainline figures, I definitely would have them here alongside with all of the things here. But the main line is basically only just, hey, what's coming out in the movie this year? So that's basically the gist of those lines. So the lines, like I said, that we're going to be taking a look at is Legacy, Evolutions, and Studio Series. So Studio Series is probably where this is going to be taking a good long bit to look at, but like I said, but anyways. So, but also at the same time, Legacy needs a minute to look through the glass as well in shine through, because if not for Studio Series 86, I think Legacy would be where we would be getting all of our 86, our 1980 figures and everything of the nature. So, but what we're going to do first is we're going to show off the top 5 runner-ups for the top 10 figures of the year. And take note, not all of them are repaints, even though I have my disdain for repaints. Not all of these are repaints. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take a look at them, then we'll get right into the next ones. So coming in at number 5 is Legacy Detritus. Deluxe Legacy Detritus, to be specifically, because firstly, why, Hasbro, do you keep on teasing us with molds and not giving us the actual figure that goes with those molds? Like, for reals. Like, I know you're canceling the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line, but at the same time, why do you gotta do that? And I'm gonna go over the second rule here. And the second rule is I'm going to tell you what these lines, the line that it comes from, and what size of class it is. So, Deluxe Class Detritus from the Legacy Evolutions did not make it to the cut because it's a repaint of something that has not happened yet. So, and coming in at number 4, we have Studio Series Deluxe Class Mirage from Rise of the Beasts. Now, the reason why this guy didn't make the cut is because his transformation is pure hell. And he doesn't stand up properly. So I mean, if you're gonna buy a figure, get a figure that stands up properly. So he didn't make the cut because his transformation's pure hell, and he can't stand up properly for a good minute. But at the same time, it's Rise of the Beast, so he had to make the cut somewhere. So he made it in the not top 10. So coming in at number 3. We have Studio Series, once again, Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee. So, once again, with Rise of the Beasts, the reason why this did not make the cut is because, well, it's a Bumblebee mold. How many Bumblebees are we going to get in one stinking thing? He even has a subline, which his subline has characters that come before him, So that made it into the top 10, and this guy didn't even make it, because obviously this guy's a Bumblebee, and I like Bumblebees, but at the same time, we don't need 50,000 of them in the ranking systems. So that's why he only made it to the spot of number 3. So coming in at number 2, coming in once again with Rise of the Beasts, we also have Studio Series Voyager Class Rhinox. Now, why does he not make it into the number 10, to the 10, out of 10? Or not even 10 out of 10. Why does he not make it into the out of 10 in my 2023 lineup? Well, look at him. I mean, he's a slab of gray plastic. I mean, not that I have a problem with a slab of gray plastic, because a slab of gray plastic is still better than some of the promo pictures that we got for him. But at the same time, I would prefer a little more paint on this guy. I mean, not just stuff that blends in with the gray plastic. So, yeah. Coming in at number 1, we have Legacy Evolutions Shrapnel. Now, the reason why he's not here is because I had to make a tough decision between him and the number 10 slot, and the number 10 slot I thought was a lot better than this guy. So, and I'm only going to say this because the number 10 slot is, you guys may not like it, but I do. So, but also deal with that. And if we're also going to add in a third rule here, the third rule would be, these are figures that only I think are worth it. You do not have to take my word as law. So if you guys want to, like, for example, like all of the runner-ups could be in your top 10, top 3, could be one of them could have been your number 1, for all I know. So do not take my word as law. You do not have to pick up these figures because I think you have to. These are just ones that I thought. So that's where this is headed. So now that we've taken a look at all the runner-ups, we're going to take a look at our top 10. So coming in at number 10, we have, like, literally number 10, we have Legacy Evolutions Core Class Nemesis Prime, otherwise known as the cutest, tiniest little threat you'll ever see. So why is he on this spot and not Shrapnel? Well, I just thought he was too freaking cute. Granted, yes, he's a repaint. The bottom 3 spots are all repaints. This should go to show you something about these repaints and what my runner-ups did not have, aside from one of them. But this one right here is it's just the cutest, tiniest little repaint ever. Like, seriously, and not to mention, it's one of the few Nemesis Prime molds that I can buy for less than 30 to 40, not even 40, 30 to 40, $50 to $60. So I think it's one of the cutest little ones that we'll ever get, and it's going to go in, it stays in my collection. So anyways, there we go. Now, number 9 is Legacy Evolutions Toxitron Collection G2 Jazz. Now, why is this one here? Well, this one's here because, well, it's basically what we should have gotten for the regular Studio Series 86 Jazz, and, pretty much everything that went along with him. Now, do I hate it because it's a repaint and it absolutely looks like neon puke? No. But do I think it deserves to be in the top 10? Yes. Why do I think it deserves to be in the top 10? Well, I mean, number 1, it's a repaint of a figure that technically isn't really, around anymore. Not to mention they made not a ton of G2 Jazz, because, I mean, it's not like I'm seeing these things at thrift stores or vintage toy shops. I haven't even really seen many of these things floating around from the G2 era. So that's the one thing that I can really appreciate, is that they took a look at a character that really hasn't been around for a good minute. So that's what I like about it. And they also gave us the accessories that we should have gotten with the Studio Series 86 Jazz. Like, we should have gotten this attachment and this attachment. But, I mean, of course, he's got more guns than he does appendages now. But, or maybe not more guns, but he's got more appendages than he's got guns now, which is okay with me. But at the same time, I do appreciate me a good repaint and giving us the parts that we should have gotten with the original. So, that I can appreciate. So, number 8. Number 8, we have Studio Series Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series Voyager Class Nest Bone Crusher. Now, why is he on this list? Well, he is on this list because, well, I did not manage to get the 07 mold when it was making first rounds because I never saw it in any of my stores. I heard rumors, you may get yourself a Bone Crusher. You could be able to get yourself a Bone Crusher if you go to this store. Went to that store, never found it. Went to multiple stores, never found him. Then one day, whilst I was roaming around my local Ross, this guy just happens to pop up. He just happens to pop up. And I'm like, you know what? I missed out on the 07 mold. I'm grabbing this. Or I missed out on the 07 paint job of this guy. I'm picking this one up. And it also reminded me of something that happened with my childhood, which was I couldn't find the 07 paint job of the movie mold. And so so instead of getting that mold, I ended up getting the Jungle Mission mold, which basically had him in a green version of that. So this kind of brought me back to my childhood in a way that I really enjoyed. So That is number 8. Coming in at number 7, we have Legacy Evolutions Bombshell. Deluxe Bombshell, to be specific. Now, why is he on this list instead of Shrapnel? Well, he's the finale. He's the exact finale, and he completes the set. And I put him up at number 7 because, well, he doesn't really... Okay, let me put it to you this way. I like him because I feel like he's the most cartoon accurate out of all of our Legacy Insecticons. I just feel like he is, okay? And it's nothing against him, it's nothing against all the other Insecticons. I just feel like he looks the best. And his bug mode is proof of that. His is the most cartoon accurate. So I have to go with this guy as number 7. So coming in at number 6, we're coming back once again to the Studio Series realm. And take note, the rest of these from this point on are Studio Series, but they're not all of the same. They're not all from the same movie line. So here we have Rise of the Beasts, Studio Series Rise of the Beasts, Voyager class Cheetor. Now, why is Cheetor here? Well, Cheetor places in at number 6 because, well, this is basically, once again, a figure that we never really saw anything of. Like, we never saw him in the movie, really. Like, we only saw him for, like, maybe a brief, like, whole minute and a half worth of screen time on screen. And he had maybe a grand total of, like, 4 lines of dialogue. And, well, this guy transformed once. We saw his transformed figure... Or not transformed figure, like, well, the silhouette of his transformation. We saw that, granted, for a whole, 30, not even 30 seconds, like maybe 20 seconds we saw that. And it was like, well, how do you get to see a figure in 20 seconds? You don't really see a figure in 20 seconds. So this sitting here in front of me just kind of confirms what he was supposed to look like, which is just, I like it. I like the Transmetal 2 looking somewhat head. I like the body, I like all of it. So, basically, figure of something we never got. So, now, we're coming in at number 5. Now, we're getting into the top 5. The top 5 figures here now are going to be... well, this one is basically a figure that you could really... It's a reissue. Take note, this is not the reissue. However, you could get this if you did manage to get the reissue. So it is Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series Leader Class Age of Extinction Grimlock. Now, if you had bought this on Hasbro Pulse when they were doing the reissue for this figure, you could basically buy it for exactly the same price as you could have back in 2018. So, I bought this one back in 2018. This is not the reissue. This is the actual version. And if you truly need proof, there's the box. So, but basically, this figure, it holds a spot on this list because, well, it almost made it into the list. It actually did make it into the list in 2020. Or not 2020, 2019 of the Studio Series line completely when they were making their ways up to Wave 2 and 3. But this guy coming from Wave 1 was definitely a nice surprise. So, Studio Series Grimlock making it in at the number 5 spot. So, number 4. Coming back to Studio Series once again, like I said, it's not the Studio Series it's the Studio Series line, but it's not the Studio Series exactly. But here we have Studio Series Leader Class, or Studio Series 86 Leader Class Snarl. Now, why on earth is this guy on this list? Well, he is one of the, I'm excited for the finale of all of our Dinobot journey. I'm very excited for it, and he is one of the last figures that we needed for this Dinobot journey. Like, we need him, and the last one we need is Swoop. So, I totally have been vibing with these Studio Series 86 Dinobots. I'm totally happy with them. I totally dig the fact that they're going in with this for the cartoon accuracy. Once again, another thing I'm happy with is he has a sword instead of a gun, and he doesn't come with a tiny little minion. So, I can get on board with that. So, anywho. Coming in at number 3, we're in the top 3. And coming in once again at number 3, I hope you enjoyed the excitement that's coming in. We're in the top 3, and all 3 of them come from the Rise of the Beasts line, so y'all should be happy with that. And before anybody says or gets pissed off at me, take note, this is my scale. This does not have to be yours. So you can totally do this. You can totally, you can totally have your opinions about whatever. It's the internet. It's a free place to do what you want. So coming in at number 3, we have Studio Series Leader Class Rise of the Beasts Scourge. Now, Scourge is one of those figures that only comes around once in a while, and literally today, on the filming of this episode, on December 26th, 2023, that is the first time I have ever picked up and held a Scourge in the wild. I picked this one up from Amazon, courtesy of Planet Toys. They purchased this for me as they still are a starting up toy company, and they needed to push some product, and they needed me to help them out. And they said, "Hey, guess what? We bought this for you, so you can totally keep it if you want." Only reason why it's at number 3 and not any higher on this list is because the head sculpt is not correct. That is the only reason why it's not here, or not any higher on the list, but number 3 I can go with. So, number 3 is Scourge. Now, coming in at number 2! That's right, we're almost done. Number 2! Now, no list is complete without usually the Commander-in-Chief, Optimus Prime. But this one specifically is Buzzworthy Bumblebee's Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. Now, why is he number 2? Well, let me just explain that. The movie accuracy of this guy is insane. The level of detail on this guy is nuts. Like, let me move the axe out of the way. Look at that ab section, and look at these crotch plate section. This is definitely something we needed. Only thing I really wish it had was a little bit of silver on these legs, but that's it. That's really it. This figure is just a straight up pleasure to hold. And, the only reason why it's not number 1 is because its vehicle mode is completely atrocious. That's it. But, the back of the vehicle mode specifically is atrocious. But the rest of it is just, it's a wonder to have. So, I mean, gotta have this in the top, in the number 2. That guy definitely takes a number 2 category slot. So, yeah. And finally, number 1. The number 1 figure, in my opinion, that makes it to the 2023 spot. The absolute number 1 figure. Now, as leaders go, we have Optimus Prime that was there just minutes ago. We have Grimlock, the leader of the Dinobots. We've got, basically the Insecticons. We've got their leader, Megatron and all that. He's all there, but no leadership is complete without their no Maximal team is complete without the leader of the Maximals, Optimus Primal. Now, this figure takes my 2023 spot, number 1, because it's just the most movie accurate, okay? This is the most movie accurate figure I have come across to date. It's definitely up there with Grimlock. It's definitely up there with, It's up there with all of the Studio Series figures that are amazing. Galvatron, Dark of the Moon Megatron. Like, this figure is definitely a sight to behold. And the only thing, once again, that I would literally say this thing needs is smidge of paint right here. But he already he's that's it. And I foresee this turning into an Ape Link mold. So, that's also something else to be grateful for. So, is he 100% movie accurate? No. And the only reason I say that is because his mouth guard is not, covered up. But then again, I don't really care. Look at, this guy is just really, really movie accurate. Like, hardly that much for kibble on the back of his legs and on the top of his backpack. Like, very, very minimal kibble. So, I mean, I can get on board with it. And that's why he takes the number 1 spot. So, basically, here you have my number 1 figure for, 2023 of the Studio Series line, or maybe not even Studio Series line, period, for 2023 in the 2 lines that I collect, Legacy and Studio Series. This guy managed to make the number 1 spot. Yes. So, anywho, before we do that, let's get a family photo going on here with all these guys. Let's just zoom this all the way out. Let's just see if we can't get this photo going here. So, here we have Bone Crusher. Will sit over here. Well, actually, we'll just do the top 5. There's not enough room on camera. I'm sorry, people. There's not enough room. There's just not. So, here we go. Here's our top 5 coming in. Here we got Grimlock. Here we got Prime. Here we got Snarl. And finally, here we have... Here, we're going to stick you over here. And finally, here we have Scourge. These are the top 5 figures for 2023, and honestly, I hope you guys have had a wonderful year with these Transformers figures. Take note, all of them are Studio Series that I have in this list, or in the top 5, but that's just because it's just a wonderful line to behold. So, honestly, people don't need to get upset over that. And once again, I hope you guys have a happy holidays, hope you have a wonderful new year, and I look forward to the things that are coming for 2024. I look forward to picking up that Bumblebee movie Megatron. I look forward to picking up that Bumblebee movie, not Ravage, but I look forward to picking up the Bumblebee movie Rumble, and I look forward to picking up as much as I possibly can next year. And also, once again, do not forget to check out Planet Toys, a world built by collectors, where you can get, not all of these, but you can get yourself some Transformers for the Transformers need, for all of your Transformers needs. And this is Thomas Phantom 1 saying, don't forget to subscribe to Optination Reviews, Beastman Reviews, Riveted Reviews, Jordy's Rail Videos, Patrick with the Y, Bravely GG, iStar552, and Take Along Productions, as I know they all are amazing content creators and definitely have a wonderful year ahead of themselves for the new year specifically. And don't forget to check out my Lionel train videos that I've got coming out within the next couple of days and within the recent, past weeks, if you guys are interested in those. And so please do not forget to check them out. And this is Thomas Phantom 1 saying, also, once again, do not forget to check out my other Transformers figure reviews that do not involve this specifically. So don't forget to do that. And this is Thomas Phantom 1 saying, once again, don't forget to keep playing with your toys, and Happy New Year. Goodbye.